The oldest Gen Z are in their mid 20s right now, about to hit 30. They're having car accidents, starting jobs, signing leases, hitting real legal problems. And here's what most firms are missing: the lawyer who earns their trust now will win them over the next time they need a lawyer. I'm Magdalena Madrigal, a growth specialist here at Abogados Now. We've worked with over 500 law firms nationwide and driven more than $250 million in settlement fees. We're a Google Premier partner, putting us at the top 3% of agencies in the world. We work with 500 plus consumer firms across PI, employment, immigration, and criminal defense. So we're watching this generational shift happen in real time across our entire portfolio.
Before we continue, a quick note and the only break you'll hear in today's episode. Most attorneys know they should be reaching Hispanic clients, but very few do it well. That's where we come in. At Abogados Now, we build authentic Spanish language campaigns that actually get you more cases and grow your practice. So, if you're looking for a new way to get more clients, book a call with our team today at abogadosnow.com. Now, let's get back to the episode.
They're not some distant idea that marketers keep talking about. The oldest Gen Z are already in their mid 20s. The youngest are still in high school, sure, but the whole generation is moving into their own lives right now, making real legal decisions. Car accidents, first jobs with employment issues, apartment leases, injuries. These are real legal problems that they all are going through right now. Your client base isn't changing in 10 years, it's happening today. The demographic story makes this even more urgent, especially for the Hispanic market. And the data here is pretty clear. About 20% of the entire US population is Hispanic. But here's the thing: they're also the youngest major racial group in the country. Median age around 30, which is well below the national median. They're not aging out of your market, they're the future. And this is where the generational story gets really sharp. Roughly a quarter of all Gen Z is Hispanic, a bigger share than the generation before them. This is a young Latino generation. When you look at kids in school right now, K through 12, the Hispanic share is even bigger. The youngest generation in America is more Latino than the generation before it. Here's the most part firms are getting wrong: the vast majority are US citizens, not recent immigrants. These are American kids growing up right here. These aren't the immigrant families that your grandfather's firm knew. They're overwhelmingly US born, English dominant, bicultural. The old playbook, reaching Hispanic families through Spanish language media, traditional family hierarchies, immigrant narratives, doesn't fit. This generation is different. When they need a lawyer, they're not cracking open the yellow pages. That died a while ago. And they now search Google, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Social is a search engine for them. They trust peer reviews and creators who feel real to them way more than polished traditional advertising. A slick billboard, they spot that as a hard sell instantly. Gen Z is the most authentic detecting, BS sensitive generation that we've seen. Corporate speak, scripted marketing, anything that feels manufactured, they reject it. And here's the insight that changes everything: Gen Z doesn't wait until they have a legal problem to decide who they trust. They decide way before. They watch, learn, and follow creators and brands on social long before they need you. The firm that showed up with honest education, that's the one they call when the accident happens. They live on 30-second videos on TikTok. That's not a platform for them. That's how they understand the world and find answers. They don't just scroll for entertainment. They search Instagram for real stories, YouTube for advice, and TikTok for how-tos. They trust what Reddit says. Social media platforms are their default research tool. So what does it take to earn the trust before they need you? Show up as a real person and not a corporation. That messy, human, genuine energy beats the real production every time. Give them real information: how to handle a car accident, what to do after a workplace injury. Sell the service later and teach first. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, the platforms that they actually use, speak their language and use their format. Meet them there. When they message you, respond the same day. Not a form reply, not a chatbot, a real person and fast. Show them what you believe. Be transparent about fees, about your process, and what you stand for. Gen Z doesn't hand out loyalty. You keep them by consistently delivering transparency and real value. Here's the move most firms completely miss: These Gen Z Latinos are often English dominant but deeply connected to their families. They're frequently the ones researching and choosing for themselves and for their immigrant parents. Earn the trust of one Gen Z daughter, and you're likely to earn her whole family's trust. That compounds. Most firms haven't figured this one out yet. Attention on Gen Z is sparse and competition is low. The Gen Z person who follows you today, they might not need a lawyer for another 2 years, but when they do, you're the first call. And then another case and another. You're buying your place in the next decade of an entire young, growing generation's legal decisions, and that's the play. The oldest Gen Z are making legal decisions today. The ones behind them are following. Invest in their trust now, and you own the next 20 years. If you want to build a real presence with Gen Z on the platforms that they use in a tone that actually lands, let's talk about what that looks like for your firm. Book a call with us. Talk soon.